Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe football show and the return of the Daily Leeds. They're not going to be a set time. They will come out to you every day at some point once there is some Leeds United news. They will be pre-recorded because we do a lot of live content throughout the week. And now that I've moved into my new place, and as you can see, I have new surroundings. Hopefully it looks a bit better, a bit cleaner. I'm going to get a new mic as well. Someone's helping me out with that. That'll happen very, very soon. So hopefully the sound quality will improve as well. But yeah, that's just a quick update from me where I've been. I've been hiding. I've been away, adjusting to life, waiting for my Wi-Fi to get installed as well, which was an absolute nightmare. But you'll be happy to know I'm with Virgin now. It's wired connection. There'll be no more fuzzy stuff going down. I pray anyway. I do hope. But what I wanted to do while I've been away, there's been a lot of Leeds United news. So I wanted to give you my thoughts and my opinion on this. You can see from the thumbnail that we're going to be talking about potential incomings and they won't, the transfers and much, much more. As I say, keep it locked at the Just Joe Football Show. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that like button. And yeah, make sure you follow me on Twitch because on Tuesday, FIFA 23 is out and I'll be smashing it daily on there, this on an evening, plus all the other streams. Just keep it locked, man. And yeah, let's get into it.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck. I believe I'm self-made, yeah. So, first of all, what we're going to start with, guys, is Ryan Lowe. A lot of you might not know this name. He is currently manager at Preston North End. I don't know if you're aware, but there was a game just the other week versus Burnley where Sky Sports commentator Gary Weaver suggested that Victor Orta was looking at Ryan Lowe as a potential future Leeds United boss. Now, we know they make contingency plans. We know that in the past they liked Steven Gerrard. We know that in the past they liked Lee Bowyer. You know, many names getting touted about. They like to look for, you know, up-and-coming managers that might be quite doing it. And Gary Weaver is the name on a lot of people's lists for potential future manager of Leeds United. Now, of course, I'm not saying for 1 second that Jesse is in any sort of bother, but we know the way that our football club operates, specifically Victor Orta. We'll speak about him in some more detail a little bit later on. I'm a massive fan of Victor. He's the decent apple in a group of bad apples, for me personally. But just a bit on Ryan Lowe. He's led both Bury and Plymouth to League 2 promotion previously, and then moved to Preston last December. And Preston have got off to a decent start. They have just lost once in their last 9 games played. They are struggling to score goals, and I put that down more to the personnel as opposed to the style of play, because the brand of football they are starting to play is attracting a lot of attention. It's a bit, I guess you could say, in a sort of Graham Potter kind of vibe, you know, what his Brighton side were like, you know, the XG Kings. That's what Preston have become in the Championship. But he's just one that's been touted out. So maybe Leeds fans might want to have a look at them Preston games in some more detail, because if things were to go sour for Jesse, or even if they weren't and he was to move on at some point, maybe he gets the USA job or something later on down the line, then Ryan Lowe might be one that could come in the door for Leeds United. And now we're going to talk about transfers, and we're going to start with that man called Gakpo. Listen, anybody watching this, I'll give you my 100% honest opinion. He will not be a Leeds United player. I may have to rue them words, yeah, clip it up. It may happen, but for me, Cody Gakpo is just too good for Leeds now. And a lot of you might hear that and be like, what are you on about? No one's too good for Leeds. But I just think he will now go to a Champions League club. The guy has been smashing it. I mean, when we tried to sign him, he scored a hat-trick on that very evening, man. But look, we've looked a mockery in this transfer. We have looked a mockery because the powers that be have failed to get this deal over the line. Not for me, not for Victor. He's not the man structuring these deals. He's not the man who's putting up the cash, you know. You'll have heard it, read it. If you haven't, I'm going to tell you now. Leeds United put a clause in there, right? Put a clause in there that said they would pay $6 million if we achieve Champions League football. Now, listen, I have high aspirations for my football club, but do I genuinely believe that we can finish top 4 this season? Not a cat in hell's chance. I don't think the most positive of Leeds United fan believed that was a possibility. But Leeds United stuck that in. as a clause in the deal for Cody Gakpo to say that if we sign him, then we'll give you 6 million if we get in the Champions League. Just looks silly. Do you know what I mean? Apparently it was 30 million euros up front plus a further 13. But they've come out and said only 2 million of them bonuses were actually realistic. So the other 11 million, 6 of it being the Champions League stuff, must have just been laughable. PSV must have just thought, what are this club on? You know, they made it sound like it was Van Gaal's fault that the deal wasn't done. But PSV's Michael Brands, who previously was at Everton, came out and said, listen, you know, we didn't even think they were serious. No one really actually got close. And it's clear PSV didn't really want to sell because they've gone and sacked technical director John de Jong. It's cost him his job because he was willing to do this deal. And it seemed like he was willing to do this deal at a pretty cut down price for what Gakpo is actually worth. Let's be honest, 30 million, you can see already that he needs to be going for more than that. Maybe it's the Röver tax. I'm not too sure. You get cheap players from that division, etc. But for me, what Gakpo's doing now, they'll be able to command a bigger fee in January or maybe even next summer. I mean, in the last game against Feyenoord, he was directly involved in all 4 of PSV's goals, scoring or assisting. The guy is nectar. So it's another one for me of them players that Leeds United could have got, but just didn't really put up the funds. Because for me, Gvardiol, Rodrigo de Paul, Matheus Cunha, many, many more, Charles de Ketelaere. You know, Radrizzani came out and said, oh, listen, we could have got it done if I'd have gone 9 days earlier. Go 9 days earlier then, mate. Do you see what I'm saying? And another player we were linked previously with, of course, is, of course, Noal. That guy's bags of potential. Yes, he carries a lot of baggage, and maybe that's what's, you know, kept potential supers away from signing him. But Fabrizio Romano just last week was speaking on his YouTube channel, and he says that Noal is still a very gettable target for Leeds United. He said he will move in the future transfer window. We know that he doesn't really want to be at Bruges. He thinks he's better than Belgian football, and that calls into question his character. He does mad interviews, etc., etc. Would he come to Leeds United and then move on and actually upset the fans? There is the potential for that. But listen, he's got bags of potential. And Fabrizio Romano did say he is on the list for Leeds United, as well as some other clubs around Europe, more specifically Italy. But it's one that we are looking into still. So maybe Noal could be a Leeds United player yet. Another player that's actually come out as well, first time hearing it, is Daichi Kamada, Japanese international, currently playing at Frankfurt. Obviously, Frankfurt won the Europa League and he was heavily involved, playing a starring role. He's racked up 30 goals and 30 assists for the German club in 142 outings. There are some issues with his contract, though, and it's saying that Leeds United, as well as Tottenham, are on the radar looking at Eintracht Frankfurt's star turn in Kamada. And, of course, that Japanese international, it brings a lot of revenue, etc. This is the kind of deal that Radrizzani would be all over. We can see that the club has grown with the acquisition of Bielsa in terms of on the South American market. We're now doing it in the American market. If you can hit that Asian market as well and get a top player in, trust me, trust and believe that's going to do massive, not only for the club and for the sales, but even for people like me, because you then get a lot of Japanese people watching it. So for me, I'm sold. Daichi Kamada, I don't know an awful lot about him, but there. Get it done. Get it done. And of course, one constant throughout all these deals is Victor Orta. Listen, I'm a massive, massive fan of his. For me, that first season when he brought in all these players that didn't really do well, Sabiki, J. Roy Grott, etc. Yeah, for me, he was given a remit. This is what I believe. You know, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and getting 6. It is what it is. But I believe he was given a remit. We need to flesh out this. We need to do that. He did that. As the club has grown, therefore the acquisition and targets have grown. Whether or not we've managed to get them targets, again, I don't really think it's on Victor. It's the guy that's willing to put up the cash or not. So, but listen, he is well thought of. We know previously he turned down an option to go to Roma. And it is also been mentioned that Chelsea are looking at him as a potential option as director of football. We know that Todd Bowley wants to get one in the door. We know that Chelsea need one. The Red Bull Salzburg, Christopher Freund turned them down. He's you know, stayed put. But apparently Chelsea will reopen talks with candidates, and Victor Orta is one of them, high on that list. So we need to keep our eyes on that, because for me, if we were to lose Victor out of that trio, he's the jewel in the crown for me. I know people will disagree, but he's the jewel in the crown for me. So Victor needs to stay at Leeds United. And he did say, I will stay at Leeds Football Club till I get us into Europe. So hopefully he can make that happen. And just to finish up, guys, any other business section? Well, of course, Luis Sinisterra scored his first goal for Colombia last night, matching up with the likes of Luis Diaz, etc. But I stand by the fact that Sinisterra is the #1 Colombian in the Premier League. So big up to Luis for that. Big up to Sonny Perkins as well. Not content with getting 5 goals in 4 matches and therefore being named August's Premier League 2 Player of the Month. He continued that fine form, getting a hat-trick for England's under-19s on Saturday. He scored all 3 goals in the first half to help the Young Lions on their way to a 6-0 victory over Georgia. And one that came out of absolutely nowhere, João Felix, Atletico Madrid star João Felix, has been speaking during the international break and said that his favourite Premier League club to watch are Leeds United. He likes Leeds, as do a lot of star players. Who knows? João Felix, anyone? I mean, I heavily doubt it. Let's be honest. It'd be about 100 and odd million, but you never know. Anyway, that's enough from me on the Just Joe Football Show, the return of the Daily Leeds. I'm not sure on time, as I said. When news reports, I will endeavour to get it out to you. Everything now will be ramped up, okay? We'll be back tomorrow night for an England watch-along against Germany. What a bore fest that'll be. But listen, we're going to do it because you need to keep it locked at the Just Joe Football Show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Peace. I don't think I do it. Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt.